Guys, we're back with another episode with one of the OGs of Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu in Tucson. I'm going to continue to say that because it's true. Let him introduce himself, but his nickname is Honey Badger.
Yeah. What's up, guys? It's Freddie. Yeah, like I said, Honey Badger, dude, that name goes back in the day, man. That's like when I first started training like 15 years ago.
Yeah. No, that's perfect. That's my first question. 'Cause I've never heard the story. Keep it PG.
Yeah.
But why the hell were you named Honey Badger? Because I never put one and one together.
Yeah.
Until I got back to Irie, and I'm like, all these years it was him that was Honey Badger.
Dude, it's funny. Dude, yeah, man. So, back in the day with the OG crew, there was this video that was kind of trending online with the Honey Badger what happened was there was a Honey Badger fighting a cobra, right? And then the cobra stung him, and the Honey Badger kept fighting, killed him, and as the venom started sinking in, he like rolls over and like falls asleep, right? And then wakes up and then just starts eating him again and finishes him off, right? So it was really funny, dude, because I was rolling with Aaron, right? And he had put me to sleep, dude. He put me to sleep, and I didn't know that I was asleep, and I woke up and I started fighting him again. Yeah. And so between that, what happened with that and that video, they just started calling me the Honey Badger, dude, because I literally got put to sleep, woke up, started fighting again, and they had to like stop it all.
That's how it all started?
That's how it all started, dude.
Oh,
yeah. It was so funny, dude.
Were you a white belt during that time, man?
Yeah, man. Yeah, I was a white belt. I was a senior white belt, but yeah. Because we had just got done competing in Las Vegas, and we were gearing up for some more tournaments, and back in the day, right, there was only like 2 tournaments a year, like in Phoenix, right, and yeah, dude, we started training really hard. We all got a little cocky because we won a tournament or two, and yeah, man, I didn't want to tap, this white belt stuff, right?
Might as well just go to sleep. You'll be fine,
dude. Yeah, best nap I ever had, though.
Yeah, I mean, you're out.
Yeah, dude.
The first time I got put to sleep, I'm like, it's the closest thing you'll ever get to like going under in surgery.
Yeah,
it's just a snap the fingers and you're out.
Yeah, it's the anesthesia without anesthesia. Yeah. You know what I mean?
It's a safer way to go about it.
Oh, dude, yeah, man. I don't know if it's safer, but it's definitely. It's an experience you got to just try. Maybe I shouldn't recommend that, but like,
hey, we got high schoolers watching, dog.
Yeah, so maybe not. Don't do that. But like, if it ever happens, you know what I mean? Just tap, bro. Like, it's not that big of a deal. But yeah, that's how it got started, bro. It's kind of, and that name stuck, dude. 15 years later, I'm still hearing it.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
So just get into more about you. Are you from Tucson? Tell us about what you're doing before you were known as Honey Badger.
Yeah, man. So yeah, born and raised in Tucson, Arizona. I got all my family is here and everything. I started training when I was 20, just before I turned 21, something like that. And before that, I mean, I just, I was a teenager, man, just, doing the teenager stuff, kind of going to school here and there, and obviously graduated from high school, but then going to college and whatnot. But to be honest, dude, not really doing a whole lot, man. My life, I don't think my life really started until like I got into jiu-jitsu, But the funny thing is, like, even though I didn't start till I was, like I said, 20, I could have started when I was 16, but it didn't really register. So it's funny because I was working at EG's, man. I was working the drive-thru at EG's at 15, 16 years old. And my cousin Phil, who's now my coach who gave me my black belt, he rolls through the drive-thru, and we chat a little bit. We were kind of distant cousins at the time, right? We just saw each other at family parties. And so he rolls through the drive-thru, man, and he was just like, "Hey, dude, I'm doing this jiu-jitsu thing. You got to come check it out." And he hands me a card, right? And I was like, "Oh yeah, it's cool, man. It's cool." So I get it. I put it in my wallet or whatever. I just kind of forgot about it, right? I mean, like I said, I was a teenager, dude. I was pumped to have a car and like go out and be with my friends and whatnot. And it wasn't up until I was, like I said, 20 when I was getting a new wallet, and I started going through all the cards in my wallet, and then I came across that card.
Oh shoot! So it's just like a time over again or something. It was like meant to be.
Dude, yeah, man. I mean, it was like 4 years later, bro. Like I still just had that card sitting in my wallet, just chilling, and. I ended up calling the number, and the guy that answered was like, "Hey, yeah, dude, just come down on Monday." And I showed up on Monday, dude, never left.
Yeah. What was that first day like? Because during this time, that way everyone knows. You have people like Hector Carpio, my dad, Mike Romero. You have like, that's the time, like Manny's talked about it before. Mm-hmm. It wasn't just jiu-jitsu at that point. It was a scrap. You're fighting at that point.
Dude, yeah, it was different, right? Like the sport aspect of jiu-jitsu was just not really there. Because a lot of those dudes too, like Manny and them, they were just getting done doing the cage fighting and all that stuff. And a couple other guys on there were still doing cage fighting and whatnot. Raging the cage, dude. Yeah, Raging the Cage. Oh, man. Yeah, but dude, I'll never forget, man. I walked in there. I had on the long basketball shorts, the Jordans. You know what I'm talking about? Yeah, dude, I had no idea. And I walked in there. Phil was right there. Manny, Brenda, I mean K1, just all these people, dude. And I mean, you never forget your first class, man. Like, and then to be honest, too, back then I thought like the bigger the better. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So me and my friends, we were in the gym all the time, dude, just trying to get as shredded as possible. And you know, it wasn't up until I had my first roll, and it was with K1, he was probably like, what, I don't know, 140, 150, something like that.
Dude,
he was a smaller dude, man.
Though.
Killer, bro, killer. And that was my first real lesson because I was 180 pounds, just solid. And he was, like I said, you know, maybe 150, maybe. And I rolled with him one time, and I'm pretty athletic, I think. And I tried to do everything I could to get around this dude, and he just submitted me probably 15 times in like a 5-minute match, dude.
Yeah.
And I had no idea what was happening.
Yeah,
you know?
You were hooked after that, though?
Dude, I was hooked, bro. I was, in my mind, I was like, if this guy could do this to me, I got to stay here. I got to figure this out. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But I think the best thing about it too, man, like, and aside from the first day, was the people there. You know what I mean? Like, there was a bunch of police officers, firemen. Like, you were just around a bunch of like grown men that were just showing up here every day to like fight each other. And then they were some of the friendliest human beings you would ever meet. I mean, dude, it was cool. The entire environment plus what you were learning, I was hooked, man. Yeah. I was hooked.
Speaking of that, like people like Harold, brother, you look at him, he looks like a straight killer, and you talk to him and it's like, yeah, this dude's the nicest dude in the world.
The nicest dude, bro. The nicest dude. You know what I mean? And so helpful, so like caring, you know what I mean? And but then when you roll, he tells you, he's like, look, I'm gonna mess you up. But afterwards, we're cool. Just understand that, you know.
After that, we're homies.
Yeah. Like, so for 5 minutes, we're trying to choke each other out. But after that, like, we'll be friends. We'll go get some food and stuff. You know.
That's awesome. You know, I like how you say you had a bunch of leaders and people that have already done like first responder. They have actual careers going on.
Yeah.
You talked about how you were going left and right during your time, like at 16 through 20.
Mm-hmm.
You think being there with those folks really changed your direction of life because you had these people that have already been there, done that?
Dude, absolutely, man. And I talk about this all the time. I had no real direction when I was a kid. Like, I was going to school because people said that's what you should do. You know what I mean? Like, you get done with high school, you got to go to college, and you just got to pick something and go for it. You know what I mean? Yeah. And I was one of those dudes where I didn't really know what I was going for, why. You know what I mean? And I had to have reasoning behind anything and passion behind it. Otherwise, I wouldn't have done it well. You know what I mean? And so, you know, when I started doing this stuff, man, like, I just noticed that people around me, like, everybody had careers, families, like, these were like real men, husbands, like, just good dudes, you know? And just being around them, I wanted to be that, you know what I mean? I wanted to have a career, a family, and just be like a solid person that you can kind of look up to. But I'll be honest, man, like, when I started training, I fell so in love with it that that's all I wanted to do. And luckily, we had a couple people. Like, I mean, it was me, TJ, Aaron, Nick, K1, just a handful of us, man, where we were training probably twice a day, but like 7 days a week.
Oh, doing the morning classes and evening classes?
Dude, as much as possible, dude, as much as possible. And at the time, man, all I was doing was I was just finding part-time jobs. Like, I really didn't have a direction, dude. I just knew that, like, whatever I was doing on the mats is something that, like, I was just, it felt right. You know what I mean?
This is where you needed to be.
This is where I needed to be. You know what I mean? And I didn't know exactly what was going to take place from it. But I mean, I just found a bunch of part-time jobs, and it's really funny because I found, like, a couple years later, I found one perfect part-time job that let me work from 12 to 4, and I turned that job into a career. Like,
that's where you're at.
That's
right
where
now?
I'm at right now, man.
Oh,
yeah, I've been there for 12 years. So I started that job 3 years after I started jiu-jitsu.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, dang.
So I was bouncing around, dude. I mean, I even worked at Costco for a bit, and that was cool. But, like, it was a 2:30 to 11 shift.
Oh, it's hard to train with that.
Yeah, you can only train once a day, and I was like, this isn't what I, like, signed up for. You know what I mean? So I lasted probably a year. No, maybe less than a year, maybe like 8 months. And I was like, I got to get out of here. I got to go do something else because I got to get back to training.
Yeah.
You know?
So let me ask you that, because, like, people, the grown up world, they're always saying, like, you need to have, like, what you're saying, go to school or have 40 hours.
Mm-hmm.
Were people around you saying, like, yo, what are you doing just messing with this sport that no one's heard of?
Dude, listen, my family said that. I mean, I had I
bet you're like, hey, look at me now,
dude,
man.
Yeah, you know, man, I want to say that, but, like, I just didn't know. You know, what I would give advice to people is just like, just follow your heart and follow your passion. Right. And I know that's tough to say because like we all got to make a living. And sometimes you follow that, you might not end up where you want to be. But if you do something with passion, dedication, I mean, there's not a whole lot of things that can go wrong with that. You know what I mean? Or at least you'll learn from it. But those people come from a different time too, right?
Yeah.
They come from a very old school mentality where it was like, it was work, work, work. You know what I mean? We got to a point with internet and stuff like that, work from home jobs. Like obviously it wasn't back then, but it progressed to that.
Yeah.
I mean, I would just say, I mean, like I said, just do something. Just develop good habits, right? Like dedication, a good routine, right? Just try to be kind to people around you. But yeah, man. I mean, it was a journey. But going back to your question, like there was a lot of my family, especially when I got my blue belt. And when I got my blue belt, a lot of my family was like, "Okay, great, you got your blue belt. Are you done now? You know what I mean? You've been doing it for a year and a half." And I was like, "Dude, no, like, no. This is gonna be a lifestyle. I'm gonna do this for as long as I can." And I always got the answer like, "Well, you're not getting paid for it, man. Like, what are you doing? You know what I mean?" I started getting cauliflower ear like 6 months into it. They're like, "Dude, you're always bruised up. You're always banged up. You know, like, what are you doing?" And I heard that throughout the entire journey. You know what I mean? It really wasn't up until I would say 2 years ago that people finally understood.
Oh man, so that's so recent, man. 'Cause
Yeah.
you said 15 years, right?
Yeah, man. Yeah.
So you went freaking 13 years with people looking at you like, what are you doing?
What are you doing? Yeah. Yeah. You know, I mean, dude, 2 knee surgeries, 1 shoulder surgery later. I mean, if I would have listened, I never would have continued. You know what I mean? I mean, even the doctors were like, "Dude, you got to stop." You know? And I was like, "Bro, if you telling me to stop, you don't get it." You know what I mean? Like you don't have something you're passionate about, you know? But yeah, dude, it was really weird, man, because like I said, you know, you don't really know what you're doing, but it makes sense to you. You know what I mean? It made sense to me the whole time. And like I said, it wasn't up until recent, and that was because, you know, I'm not gonna say I got lucky, but I worked really hard. I ended up, you know, being #1 in the state last year, and I got invited to Portugal. And I think that's when it hit a lot of my family, when it was like, "Oh wow, like you're actually doing something. Like you're still not getting paid, but like you're doing something."
Well,
you
you're
know what I
known
mean?
at that point,
Right?
And that trip was all paid for too, as well.
Yeah. Oh, we had to pay for our hotel and whatnot, but yeah, the entry fee and all that was there. You know what I mean? But what was really cool about it, man, is I made it into a trip for, you know, my mom got to go, my Thea got to go, my girlfriend got to go, you know, and we made it into this vacation that like I honestly never dreamed that I'd be going out of the country, let alone out of the country to compete.
That's the major leagues right there for jiu-jitsu at that point.
Yeah, international, man, international. And now we're talking about going back, you know, because it was just so much fun. Yeah.
Tell us a little bit about that competition, because I know it's not like your typical like or Arizona League, you wait in the bullpens kind of thing. I know it's like a bigger stage, and kind of tell us, how did you handle the pressure of that, as well as just making sure you were having fun going out there doing what you do.
Yeah, you know, man, I got a really good training routine that we could talk about that later, but I definitely didn't add any extra pressure to myself. You know what I mean? And it was one of those things where, like, you knew when you got out there it was going to be a big deal. But if you competed at any of the IBJJF like Worlds or even Nationals, it was very similar. And I just kept that in mind. Like, it's exactly the same, but it's just a different place, a really, really far place. Yeah. You know what I mean? But just different, man. Yeah. And so when we got out there, man, I mean, yeah, you got this whole room to yourself with, dude, like a lot of people I follow on Instagram, they were all there. Like all these pros.
Were any Gracies there or anything like that? Or?
You know, I didn't see it, but I remember seeing like Cole, I can never pronounce his last name. Cole Alabate, what's his name? From AOJ, right?
Yeah. Talking about.
Yeah, them, and then just a couple other bros. I was just like, whoa, man, I've been following these dudes forever. You know what I mean? And like, I'm in the same room, and this is crazy. But you know, then once you step onto the mat, dude, especially with this many years of experience, yeah, you're nervous. Yeah, it's a different environment and all that stuff. But once the ref says go, you're back to your normal stuff. Yeah. You know what I mean?
It's another match.
It's just another match, dude. And the crazy thing is, dude, like, I lost by 2 points in that match, and it was weird because I thought I was winning by 2, but you know, obviously I wasn't, and I made a couple mistakes, so I literally beat myself. You know what I mean? But it was really cool to step off that stage and get out of there, because I realized that, like, I belong there. You know what I mean? Like, I'm good enough to be there with these people, hang in with these people. You know, I just needed to kind of tweak my fighter IQ a little bit, but you know, I didn't get spanked. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And it's like, and it's crazy, dude. Like just coming from Tucson, this small little town, bro. And now you're up in Portugal, and not only are you competing with them, but you're hanging in with them.
Yeah.
You know?
Especially a place that 10 years ago only had 3 jiu-jitsu gyms.
Dude.
Now you're back. Now you're back doing what you do in the highest level there is.
Bro, and I tell people all the time, especially like, you know, white belts, blue belts that are, you know, they come from out of town or they're just kind of shopping around. I was like, dude, do you know how blessed you are to say I'm shopping around? You know what I mean?
Dude, no one understand losing a match and having to wait like 6 months.
Yeah.
Before you even got the shot. That's why I liked freestyle more, because it was a tournament every weekend.
Yeah, dude.
I remember being 7 years old, losing for the first time. Like, asked my dad, like, when's the next one? He's like, half a year.
Half a year?
Like,
yeah. It was every February and then October or something like that.
Yeah, and then one in the summer.
And then one in the summer, right?
And then occasionally they would have that kids cup in April.
Yep. For the kids cup, man. Yeah. And it's wild, dude, because now it's like it's every month. There's super matches, you know what I mean? Like, you know, you can travel to Phoenix, you can travel to San Diego. There's one every month, you know? But then on top of that, there's a gym on every corner.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like back when we started, there was what? 2 in town, maybe 3. And then the rest of them were like up in Phoenix.
Yeah.
You know? And
that goes back to like what we were talking. No one knew what it was, dude.
Nobody knew, bro.
The idea that like people thought it was karate. It was just like,
yeah,
bruh.
I know. And one of my, and I know we talked about this. One of my biggest pet peeves is when I was like, yeah, I do jiu-jitsu. And they're like, oh yeah, you do jiu-jitsu. I'm like, no, dude, put your hands down.
Yeah.
Like that's not what it
is.
Yeah. But I mean, yeah, no, dude. I mean, especially the kids nowadays. I mean, imagine being 4 years old, like training now with all these kids, dude. And then like it's gonna be like that until they're 30. Like the level that this is going is skyrocketing.
Well, there's an end game now because UFC's picking it up now.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Like
yeah.
little David, like I remember when Phil told him, like, you have a shot to be there one day.
Dude, that dude's amazing. I mean, that dude is like, man. He was training since he was probably like 5 years old, and he's what 11 or 12, something like that. I don't know. And he competes at all the major tournaments, ADCC. I mean, the Jiu-Jitsu Con, like just everything. Yeah. You know,
dude, this is how good that kid is. So my best friend since I was like in 8th grade, he's like 200 pounds right now, and he goes and trains with. That's when I was getting ready for the last one in May. I'm like, hey, just come out. We'll work out afterwards.
Oh yeah.
And he's like, dog, I rolled with this little kid. I'm like, how'd it go? He's like, I don't want to talk about it.
Yeah, dude.
Like 24-year-old dude, little David freaking choked him out, put his foot in his face and everything. And
dude,
like,
if that dude was my size, he would mess me up. You know what I mean? 100%.
He's fast. He's quick. Got a little flash to him, man.
Yeah, dude. Yeah, he has a little showman in him, but his technique is. I mean, bro, he's 12 years old and he trains in the kids classes, the advanced teen classes, and the adults classes. Yeah, you know what I mean?
He's doing 2 days already,
dude. Yeah, man. So I mean, yeah, it's changed so much, dude. But for the better. You know what I mean? And yeah, so I just hope he's getting to experience that same environment that we did, right? Or I did when I first started, just being around like a bunch of just really, really good people. Yeah. You know?
Yeah. And I like how you talk about how there's super fights now. You've had a chance to have a bunch of them. Yeah. Tell me when was the first time you had a super fight? I started researching it last night. Like, I've been out of the sports for baseball for 14 years.
Okay.
I didn't know what was going on too much. And I see all these super fights with you. Yeah. I'm like, damn, this is a freaking dude in jiu-jitsu. Dude. Tell us a little bit about what your first one was like.
Dude, so my first one, it was a Rise of the Prospects, and I was a purple belt. And that one was just, is so much different than a tournament, right? Because like you said, you tournament, you go in the bullpen, there's 11 different mats going on at the same time, and yeah, you got a crowd watching you and whatnot, but there's a lot of other stuff going on. You know what I mean? And then you know that you got to prepare for probably 3 to 5 matches, right? Depending on what bracket you're in or whatever. But for the super match, when they first told me about it, they're like, yeah, dude, it's one match, it's 8 minutes. And you get a walkout song, like all this stuff. Like it was just sounded really cool, dude. Like it was just something like super different, right? And that's when Fight to Win started kind of happening too. And these were local, right? So it just made it really easy. So
thank God, no Drive the Phoenix at that point,
dude. Yeah, I'm telling you, man. I'm telling you, it's just so different. But yeah, I mean, the first one I had too, it was in a boxing ring. Yeah. Right? It was in a boxing ring, dude.
That's how they used to do it, man.
That's how they used to do it. I mean, they didn't know any better, right? It was in a boxing ring, and you had the walkout music and all that good stuff. And I started winning those a lot, man. And I really liked them. And then that's when Manny created Last Warrior Standing. you know, and then even up until recent where Enrique from Gracie Baja, he started adding in super matches in the middle of his tournaments.
Yeah.
Right. And man, and it's a whole different vibe, a whole different feel. And I like those a lot more than tournaments.
Cause they shut down the whole, like, no one's, it's just you.
It's
like,
just you. Yeah.
Like the old Plevo one, man. That was crazy seeing it because they shut down all the matches.
Dude, yeah.
And it's just you right there. Like, you have the whole stage on you, which is incredible, man.
Dude, it is, man. And Enrique does it right, bro. Like all of them do it right, but they really make you feel like you're just, I'm not gonna say special, but they make you feel important, right? Like it's like, and it's really cool to be in front of like a bunch of like family and a bunch of like little kids and stuff like that. Like you get to watch these black belts that have been doing it for, you know, probably half their life. Yeah. And they get to throw down in the middle of the tournament while they're transitioning to like the adults from the kids. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And dude, it's honestly so much fun, man, because, and the reason why I like them the most is because, yeah, I want to win. But if you're a spectator watching jiu-jitsu, especially at the black belt level, it can be slow. It can be kind of boring, right? Because we're inching our way for different grips, and those grips can make or break the entire match because it takes a split second for you to make that one small mistake, man, you know? But I made it a point to just really try to be as exciting as possible, right? Because you want to make those super matches, not only do you want to win, but you want to make those super matches so entertaining that they want to call you back. Yeah. You know what I mean? And that's what I love about them.
They've been calling you back, man. Which is awesome.
I've been getting lucky, man, for sure. Yeah.
You know, we talked about match you had with Anthony Burchak.
Yeah.
And you said it was kind of a crazy match. Get into that because it was the best out of 3 match.
Yeah, man. Yeah. So that was at the Old Pueblo. We were brown belts. And when I found out I was getting paired up against Anthony Burchak, man, it was one of those moments where I was like, dude, me? You know what I mean? Yeah. Like this dude, he's in the UFC, bro. Like he has his own gym. Like all right, like I'll do my best. You know what I mean? And getting in there and rolling with him and like I said, we did 2 out of 3 because we were the only ones in our bracket. I ended up pulling off the win, but it could have easily gone either way, man. But like in the middle of the match, I remember thinking, I was like, wow, dude, like I can't believe I'm hanging in there with this dude. You know what I mean? And then it gave me a little bit more confidence, and I started kind of turning it up, and we had an amazing match, man. It's on YouTube right now, but like. And I talked to Burchak about it afterwards too, and it was one of his favorite matches, man. Yeah. You know, and to this day, it's one of my favorite matches.
Yeah, he's a great dude too, man. I've had him on this show twice already. So.
Oh, nice. Yeah.
He's a character, man.
Dude, I love that guy, man. He's super funny, but he's so skilled and he's so passionate about what he does. Yeah. You know what I mean? And that brings me back to the old days where you just like where somebody makes this their entire life and they're still that passionate to show up every day. Like it's real. You know.
It's kind of like going like I've been saying this a lot. It's like burning your boat. Like this is a goal, and we're gonna keep going forward and see what happens.
There's no going back, dude. You know what I mean? There's no going back. But and then like I said, to do it every day, dude. I mean, and then still show up with that amount of enthusiasm, passion, and then to compete on top of that, dude, that's a lot, bro. A lot of people don't realize that.
You got to pay to compete too, and then the travel. It's like I always tell everyone, it's kind of like being in JUCO baseball a little bit. Like you're at the trenches a little bit, but then you keep moving up, things start getting better.
Yeah. And what's crazy, dude, is like a lot of people stop when you start getting to like a certain level because you don't want to lose, right? Like you have a whole school behind you and you're the teacher of that school and you go show up at a tournament and you risk losing. Yeah. You know what I mean? But that's just all a part of the game. Yeah. Right. But to step up and actually do that, I mean, bro, that just takes so much respect.
Yeah. Certain level of respect when you get on the mat, either it's a cage or a mat, doesn't matter.
Yeah. Oh yeah, dude. Any one of those, bro, it takes a lot.
Yeah. And you'll be stepping on the mat pretty soon. Last Word Standing, August 9th.
Dude, I'm pumped, man.
Tell us a little bit about that. What your game plan is, what you're doing for training right now.
So yeah, man. So it's gonna be with Gerson, and what's really crazy. This is kind of like the Anthony Burchak thing all over again, right? Because when I was a purple belt, I used to watch Gerson compete. Like I literally used to like show up at a certain time to make sure I can watch him compete at like the Arizona State, the Gustavo Dantes tournaments. And
was he already a black belt by then, or?
Yeah, he was. I think he was a brown belt, or he had just got his black belt. I know I watched him at both levels.
So he's probably like a 2nd degree black belt at this point.
I think 3rd. I think
3rd degree.
Yeah, I think. Yeah. So he's been in the game for a while, man, longer than me for sure. But yeah, I mean, I remember watching him, and dude, I remember trying to emulate his game. I remember studying him, and I met him. I mean, he's super nice dude, man. Like we're really cool. And I'm just extremely honored to like just be even considered on this dude's level to be able to compete with him. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I mean, you got to watch this dude compete while you come up, and then now you're competing against him. Like it's amazing, bro. You know, but to prepare for it, man. Here's my thing, and this is a little controversial, but I'm not a professional either, man. So I don't like training camps. I don't believe in them. Like I personally like to train as I always do, because at the end of the day, and this is something I got from my original school. At the end of the day, what we do, yeah, it's for a sport. Yeah, we're doing competitions, but it's self-defense at the end of the day, right? Like, God forbid we ever have to use this to defend our families or ourselves in the street. You need to be able to flip that mind switch, right? And you don't want to be out there being like, oh, well, hold on. I just trained really hard yesterday. Like, I can't do this today. What's your weight class? You know what I mean? Like we can't be doing that. So, and this is what I've done for the last, I would say, like 3 years, where I have certain days through the week that I train. It's usually 2 on, 2 off, 2 on, 2 off, right? And what I do is, those are my training days. I mean, aside from lifting, lifting, you got to do that to kind of keep your body strong and keep your joints good and all that stuff. But when it comes to training, I have certain days that I do it, and that's it. And I don't change anything when it comes to matches. I'm always at like this ready level. You know what I mean?
Always ready to go.
Always ready to go, dude. Like, no matter what. And I'm never really sore. I'm never really too tired. I found a good spot, and that's what I would say is like the best for me.
Yeah, that's the plan going in.
That's the plan going in, man. Yeah, I'm not changing anything. I'm doing my game, and I'm just gonna go in there, man, and just try to have a good time. You know what I mean? Like, I trust my jiu-jitsu so much. I mean, it took me to some places that I just never thought I'd go, and I'm just really excited to test my skills up against somebody like Gerson.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Yeah, man.
I'm excited to watch that. We'll be doing the play-by-play analysis over there. We just finished that deal with Manny today, so we'll be there doing that. Tell us a little bit about that event. Like, why is that like the premier jiu-jitsu event to watch for anyone that wants to go there for the first time?
Dude, I mean, well, big shout out to Manny and Brenda, man, for putting this together. They did this. They make you feel like you're a professional. You know what I mean? And I think that's like kind of a big deal for it. You have separate bullpens for each fighter, right? Like, so if you have separate bullpens or whatever in the back where you can get warmed up. You don't have to look at your fighter. You're not sitting in the same room as them or anything like that. Yeah. But they give you walkout songs, dude, which is really cool. They make it in this big auditorium so you can invite all your friends and all your family. And the really amazing thing is, like I said, it's one match, right? It's 8 minutes long or however long it is. You don't have to worry about any brackets, and it's submission only. And the great thing about submission only is, like, you don't have to worry about giving up position. You can give up position to try to gain a better position, or to be able to, work your game to, get to a spot where you can just go for submissions, just constantly attacking. You know what I mean?
Don't have to worry about the points or anything.
No points, man. No nothing. You just got to worry about attacking, and that's what makes it exciting, right? Like, everybody wants to see you get choked out. You know what I mean? Like, that's kind of what it is. Same thing for the UFC, right? You want to see people get knocked out, choked out, and stuff like that. And this makes jiu-jitsu exciting because you don't have to worry about points. You can just go in there and just be kind of acrobatic. You can take some additional risks. You know what I mean? And it's really cool to be at a black belt level to go into those types of events because, like I said, Manny and Brenda, they make you feel like a professional. I mean, they hire a film crew, right? They'll come in and they'll do like this whole interview of you before your match. They'll play it on the big screen, dude. You get walkout music, like I said, and then the light is shining on the mat, on the stage. You know what I mean? It's cool, man. It's really cool.
That's awesome, man. No, I'm looking forward to being there. Real quick, bro, before we take off, bro, tell us your Instagram. Where can we catch it? What you're doing, brother?
Yeah, man.
I know you got some dogs training stuff going. We'll get to that next time.
Yeah.
But yeah, shout out your Instagram and anyone you want to shout out before we wrap up.
Yeah, man. So my Instagram is @brotherfred. And big shout out to you guys for inviting me. I really appreciate it, man. This setup is amazing, dude. I'll come back anytime. Big shout out to the Irie and all the fam over there. I mean, we got a great team out there, dude. It's literally the dream gym, bro. I mean, I have people asking me like, when am I gonna start my own gym? And dude, to be honest, like, I don't want to. You know what I mean? Like, we have a dream gym over there, and there's some great academies throughout the entire town. But I mean, when you have 30, 40 people plus daily.
And like a couple of them are world champions too.
A couple of them are legitimate world champions, bro. And then, and more than half of them all compete.
Yeah.
and we're talking like from white, blue, purple, brown, black, and then different sizes within those belt ranks too, that you get to pick who you roll with based on what you're trying to accomplish. There's no beating it, man. You know what I mean?
You get to go through the gauntlet every single time.
Yeah, dude. Yeah, exactly, man. Yeah, and and you get to choose your training partners, and it's just, yeah. So it's just a dream gym, bro. You know what I mean? Yeah.
That's awesome, brother. Hey, I appreciate you being on. We will have you on probably after the match so we can celebrate the victory, brother.
Awesome, man.
All right. Thank you, guys. We will be back at 5 o'clock with Sunnyside Little League. Hey, give him that applause, Sabyan.
Thanks, guys. Appreciate you, man.
Thanks.
That was awesome.